What's going on, everybody? I don't even know what to say at this point. That loss was brutal, and it just felt like that comeback was for nothing. It was all for nothing. The Knicks came back. They cut it. They cut the game to 1 point. They cut the lead to 1 point, and a series of events unfolded where they couldn't grab a rebound, which led to a. Oh my God! We already have people in the comments. What's going on? Kyrie owns you. I'm not even gonna lie, you're right. I'm pretty sure he hasn't lost to us uh in a I don't know, I have to check it. I saw somewhere that his record against us is pretty bad. I mean, for the Knicks. For the Knicks it's bad. He's won a lot of the most recent games against us. It might be similar to the Kevin Durant thing, how we didn't beat Kevin Durant, I think, in like 10 years, and then we finally beat him this year, so that streak ended. But I'm literally gonna look up when was the last time the Knicks beat Kyrie Irving. Someone knows off the top of their head, let me know. But guys, why was Kyrie playing like this was 2016 the finals? Like, what's going on here? I know Kyrie Irving is a great player. He's still a great player, but the intensity he was playing at was insane. I mean, this guy was not missing anything. And so most of his shots, I would say, most of them were pretty contested. Kyrie Irving just showing off once again. He's still that guy. He really is. I mean, he is still that guy. Yeah, someone just said he had 35 last game. He's like that. You're right. You're completely right. I definitely felt like the intensity he had against the Knicks tonight was so different, though. I mean, it just felt like we were in a finals game, and he was not missing anything. Great player, period. Exactly. Alex said he was trying to outshine Brunson, and he did. Yeah, he outshined everyone tonight. I mean, off the bat, he was making all his shots. Literally, to start the game, he was 3 for 3. He was hitting his shots right off the bat as soon as the game started. And it was like that for the rest of the game. Could barely miss. He ended up with 44 tonight and 15 for 26 from the field. So, like, that's pretty good efficiency right there. Only 11 missed shots. And 6 for 10 from the 3-point line. I'm curious, like, if any Mavs fans are in here, how many 3-pointers does he usually average a game? Because 6 3-pointers sounds like a lot. I know he can shoot the 3. I know he can do that, but I'm curious how much he's been averaging so far this season. I'm pretty sure he hit over the average tonight. Brandon said we could have easily won this game. Brandon, I thought the same thing before the game even started. In my head, I'm thinking, okay, they're not having Luka Doncic is out tonight, so it should be an easier game. We were wrong. We were straight up wrong. It seemed even harder. I mean, who knows what it would have been like if Luka Doncic was playing? Maybe Kyrie wouldn't have went off for 44, but it also could have been a big game for Luka. So we really don't know what it would have been like. But without Luka, Kyrie completely went off. He had to shine. He outshined everyone, and he just erupted from the start. He's him. He is. He always goes off against the Knicks. It's crazy. I thought we could break the streak against him too. Like I just mentioned it, we finally beat Kevin Durant, and he was the guy I wanted to finally beat too. It's been a while since the Knicks have beat him, but not tonight. RI said the comeback shows us that they really can come back. Just think they weren't prepared at first. Yeah, they can definitely come back. They did it. They literally cut the lead down to 1 point, and I had a lot of hope at that moment. But I really don't know what was wrong with them tonight. I mean, there was a lot of issues between the 3-point shooting in the first half. The defense from the get-go was just straight up awful. And then you can also factor in the refs. The calls were pretty awful as well, some calls. So a lot of factors went in tonight, but you were right. They were not prepared. Maybe they're jet lagged. I mean, they are on the road with this game, and it's just, as soon as the game started, you can tell the Mavs were on a completely different pace. They were pushing up the ball every chance they could get, and the Knicks weren't really doing that at all. And they weren't able to get back on defense to catch up with the Mavs. So that's really how the Mavs were able to take their lead, along with their amazing shooting in that first half. He said he likes playing against the Knicks. Yeah, he likes playing against the Knicks because he always beats us. I really wanted to get a win against him tonight, especially after he made those comments, but couldn't get it. Jonathan said, not sweating it. We got the Grizzlies Saturday night and Magic on MLK Day, Monday afternoon. Yeah, it's one loss. It's our first loss of the year, actually. We've won every single game besides this one. I was pretty, I would say I was overreacting a little bit during the game. I thought a lot of things about a lot of players. That's just how I, in-game react. That's how I react. But long term, there's a lot of things I noticed tonight that I want the Knicks to achieve. And I think it starts with getting a creator off the bench, or just another creator in general. It seems like with certain lineups out there, especially with a lot of guys from our bench unit, it was hard to get offense going. Obviously, I'm talking about before the comeback, just how the game was going in the first half, the third quarter. It was hard to get offense going off the bench, and you got some guys doing cardio out there. Shaquille said, should have doubled him from the beginning. Tibbs was stubborn. Yeah, we should have doubled him as soon as he started the game off 3 for 3, because he ended up with 44, and it just should have different decisions should have been made with that. At the end, they were doubling him. He was having to pass it, force a pass, and we were successful at making them take bad shots after doubling Kyrie, but it only happened a few times, and yeah, we know how the game ended with a loss. D Nice said, what's up with Josh Hart and Julius bumping heads constantly on rebounds? I really don't know. It happened between a lot of Knicks tonight. I think it happened with Hart, Randle. I saw a few other guys. Maybe it was Precious or someone else, but they were not able to collectively grab a rebound, either of them, even though it went straight to both of them. A lot of times they were bumping heads, and I don't know why. Usually they're usually what's the word I'm looking for? The chemistry, we know they've been pretty smooth lately. We were on a 5-game winning streak. They usually click right, but not tonight. A lot of people looked off chemistry wise. The passing or the turnovers. He's an elite 3-point shooter. He averages 5+ a game with 40+ from the 3. Okay. I was just curious how much he's been averaging this season, but you say he's averaging 5+ a game, then right on cue tonight with 6. Posty said, and Hardaway too. Everything worked for the Mavs tonight. I know Hardaway had an insane game too. Let's look at, he ended up with 32 points. He was 10 for 20 from the field, 6 for 13 from the 3-point line. So he also had 6 threes along with Kyrie Irving. And he had 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. That is insane. He definitely torched his former team, the Knicks. He was on the Knicks twice, 2 different times. We don't really talk about it too much. But yeah, this former Knick torched us. Tim Hardaway Jr. used to be one of my favorite Knicks. I used to have his jersey when he was on the Knicks the first time, not the second time. But it's crazy what he's still being able to do. We see a lot of fans advocate for former Knicks, whether that's Cam Reddish or Obi Toppin or now RJ and Emmanuel Quickly. We need someone to talk about Tim Hardaway Jr. Look what he just did to us tonight. 32 points on 6 threes and, really good defensive effort. The defense from the Mavs was great tonight, and he was a part of that. Brandon said we couldn't double team him because Hardaway was out for revenge. Yeah, that's true. At times it was hard to double team Kyrie because they had shooters. They had shooters like Hardaway who made 6 threes tonight. And Hardaway was really the only one that had it going on behind the 3-point line. Green had 2. Let's see. Grant Williams had 2. But yeah, you're pretty much right. Like, if we double Kyrie, somehow it'd find its way to Hardaway, and that's not a good solution right there. Dope said, I don't know about a fake comeback. Looks like they played their butts off. Don't understand the title. I mean, they definitely did play their butts off, but like when I think of a comeback, I'm thinking, okay, they got the win and they ended up with a win. What a comeback! It was a great comeback, but it ended up in a loss. So that's the reason I chose that title. The Token Hour podcast said that needed rebound. I got a little deja vu from the game last year where we couldn't grab that rebound, and then Luka hit that shot. Got deja vu and thought of that exact play. I mean, we're back in Dallas and we couldn't grab a rebound. It seems all too familiar. Pillsbury said, I'm sick of Julius not hustling on defense and the sloppy turnovers, man. Yeah, Julius, I mean, the second half, Julius stepped up, and he's part of the reason that we had a good comeback. But the first half, he struggled a lot, and his defense, he doesn't really play defense. Like, the truth is, he does not play defense. There's a lot of plays you can see. It's pointed out that he just is kind of like a cone on defense at sometimes, and it really hurts it hurts the Knicks. Games like this where we need to obviously be playing defense. I mean, I know we were on a little bit of a good run going on that 5-game winning streak, and it was a good run, but we need to play defense at times. I mean, sometimes teams are going to come out hard like they did tonight, like the Mavs did tonight. So we need to pressure teams, and sometimes Julius Randle's effort on defense is not the best. I definitely wish it could be better. Yeah. Alex said, I feel like the Mavs wanted to prove a point, and they did. The whole Mavs squad went off. They definitely wanted to, and I think Kyrie led that whole thing. I mean, he definitely wants to keep proving the point that he torches the Knicks every time. Maybe even Tim Hardaway Jr. had a little, had a point he wanted to prove being on the Knicks before. So you have a little drama there, I guess, but they truly did come out here with a game plan, and they executed well from the very start. I mean, we just fell behind from the first few minutes of the game, and it was hard to play catch up. The Token Hour podcast said the refs were horrible tonight. They really were. Like, I don't want to try to excuse the Knicks' poor defense and the struggles that we had, but there were some truly awful calls tonight. A lot of calls in the Knicks that, to me, didn't look like fouls straight up, or didn't look like they were good enough to be called a foul. And I just think it was really inconsistent. Brandon said trading for Clay would be the dumbest move in history. Oh yeah, I've seen a few rumors going around that we should trade for Clay because it's reported that basically everyone except Steph Curry is can be traded for the Warriors. So I don't know about that though. John said Kyrie is him. He was definitely him tonight. 44 for him. I thought he was going to hit 60, and we were going to get deja vu from the last year's Cavs game where Luka had 60, and just always something goes down in Dallas. Brandon said Knicks got to trade for Brogdon so he can run the second unit. That's what I'm thinking, honestly. Because you look at it in the long term, like you want this team to be a championship contending team, or at least get close to that. We need another scorer off the bench. Let's look at the points we got off the bench tonight. From Achua, let's start off with Achua. We got 7 points from him. McBride, we had 5 points from him. Josh Hart had 4 points, and Grimes had 9 points. That is not enough points you're getting off the bench right there. I mean, Emmanuel quickly, I believe he averaged 15 off the bench for the time he played this season before he got traded. But some nights it would be 20 a game. We all know some nights he would score 20 plus if he was feeling it and he got the chance and he got the minutes. We desperately needed something like that tonight. And I definitely think you're right. Brogdon might be the move because we need another creator. And preferably, I think someone that can come off the bench because we need someone to roll with that bench unit and lead them. I know there's been a few games where Grimes and McBride scored like over 15, and both of them did it the same time, but I just don't think that they can consistently do it on a nightly basis. And that's why I think you go in and you get someone like Brogdon who has the experience, who's been a sixth man of the year before and could lead that bench unit, similar to the way that Quickly did. Pillsbury said props to Kyrie and the Mavs, but the officiating was actually horrible. It was. It really was. Those calls were pissing me off, truly. A lot of just calls that shouldn't have been called, basically. I mean, any guy touches anyone on the Mavs and it was just called right away. But even Mike Breen said it. I mean, these guys are constantly touching each other. They're constantly putting their hand on one another throughout the game. But a lot of times when the Knicks would put their hands on the Mavs, as soon as that happened, it would be called a foul. It's just like I'm literally going to go back. I'm going to look through all the calls and just be upset because a lot of calls were not really fouls. The Token, our podcast said we let Timmy cook like Ray Allen tonight. He was on something different. I did not expect this from Tim Hardaway Jr. tonight. I did not expect him to come out with a vengeance and just put 32 on us with 6 threes. That's just insane. I mean, I know he's a former Knick, but he really came out with just like some type of rage or something. I mean, and he was a pest on the defensive end. You guys saw him. He was going crazy. Alex said, I'm just thankful it wasn't a blowout because the earlier games were ridiculous. Yeah, I'm glad it wasn't a blowout too. I mean, it really hurts to see them come back all the way to cutting it down to 1 point and then not winning, but I think that's definitely better than a blowout. The Knicks definitely tried at the end there. They tried their best, but they couldn't secure that rebound, which they really needed to. Pillsbury said trading for Clay would be dumb. He's making $40 million a year. Yeah, I actually wasn't sure of his contract, but I don't know. And I mean, how old is he now? He's pushing it. Let's see. He's 33. Okay, he's 33 right now. It says he's averaging 17 on the season with 3.6 rebounds, 2 assists. I want to see his game log. How many points he's been scoring each night on average. I don't know about that. I really have to look in. Clay has never really been someone that was realistically on our radar. And now that the Warriors have made it known that, you know, anything can happen with the Warriors besides Steph being traded, I don't know. That's crazy. Alex said Hardaway Jr. came out with an agenda and conquered. He definitely did. He conquered. Kind of wishing the Knicks had him right now just because he could shoot the 3 ball really well. And his defense has gotten a lot better. Personally, like from what I saw tonight, it looked pretty good. ABC said Knicks versus ourselves versus refs. Yeah. It was wild out there. The refs made a lot of bad calls. The HOF Menace said, as a maturing Knicks fan, I'm learning to live with losses like this. It's all right, guys. I'm trying to mature just like you and live with losses like this. I was definitely more upset when I was actually watching them get blown out and watching them lose. But right now, it just doesn't I'm not that mad anymore. I was definitely more upset during the game. But you're right. We have to live with losses like this, and it's our first loss of the year. We were on a 5-game winning streak. It's not like our 5th loss of the year. At that point, I think I would be truly done if we get to 5 losses in a row this season. But losses like this happen. Sometimes it's like a trap game, a game where the Mavs were without Luka Doncic, and we thought it was going to be easy. It wasn't. It was the complete opposite. Mavs came out here with a game plan from the get-go. They were scoring, they were defending, and we just looked lazy out there. Straight up, we started off this game lazy. And it's hard to win a game when you're playing catch-up the entire time. The Token Hour podcast said that stretch there in the third after Randle went off is what killed us, put us back in the hole. We need more scorer that can create on their own off the bench. Yeah, we do need another scorer off the bench because I'm telling you guys, like, I really don't think that McBride and Grimes can consistently make up for what Emmanuel Quickley was. And Josh Hart is out there doing cardio, basically. I mean, 4 points tonight in let's see, 23 minutes. And Precious Achiuwa, I don't know what's going on with him. I know he's new. It's only been a few games for him. He's still getting used to it, but I was definitely expecting more with him. He did have 7 tonight. I think that's his highest scoring game since he's been traded. And he averaged that on the season with the Raptors. So, I mean, he's right at his average there. But if that's all we're going to get from Precious, and we're getting 5 points from McBride, and I mean, obviously that's not the usual. Sometimes from what we've seen since the trade, sometimes he can put up 15. He can put up more than that. But we need it on a consistent basis, and that's what I'm saying. We need to get a consistent score. Nature and Sports said Kyrie played high school ball and grew up in Jersey, and he spent a bunch of time in Boston growing up. Got you. And I think, he said this dude was just bred to hate the Knicks, New Jersey and Boston. Yeah, he hates the Knicks, man. And he really just shows it when he plays. He completely torched us, and he torches us every time. Alex said, I miss IQ. I know. And especially if you guys saw his letter that he came out with today for the Players Tribune. If you haven't seen it, go read it if you're a Knicks fan and you are a fan of him. Basically a goodbye letter to the Knicks. Pretty heartfelt right there, and definitely emotional reading that. He didn't expect the trade. There was no rumors, and that's pretty much how we all felt. Like, there was no rumor we heard that this was going to happen, and it just happened out of nowhere. And he's still dealing with it, and I mean, obviously he was upset, but he's got to move forward. And you said you miss him. I definitely missed him tonight. IQ is the guy that would have stepped up for us tonight and probably led the bench with scoring, because we didn't really get a spark off the bench. And I mean, Grimes had 9. He had a few threes, which really helped, but he's definitely a guy that would have helped tonight. Really him said Kyrie gave y'all hell, man. He really did. He comes out here against the Knicks with a vengeance every time. He said he likes playing against the Knicks because he always beats us. Straight up, he always beats us. So, I mean, he looked insane out there. It felt like he never missed a shot. He did miss a few shots. He missed over 10 from the field. But every time he got the ball in his hands, I knew he was going to shoot it. I knew he was going to make it. Even if we had our best defender on him, like OG, he still made it a few times over OG. And even if his shot was contested, he's just that good. Alex said we need Brogdon. Truly, I do think we need him. or someone similar to him that can come off the bench for us. Token Hour podcast said, gotta give kid credit for coming up with a good game plan. Can't give that many points in the first. Catch up sucks. We move on, but it shows us we need to play D well every night and more points to win. Yeah, we definitely gave up way too many points in that first quarter alone. I think it was 40 in that first quarter, which was wild. Especially after we've been on such a good run with the 5-game winning streak. Our defense has been so superb since the trade. So the fact that we gave up 40 in that first quarter, I knew something was just off with this game. And I just, a feeling that this was a game of catch up and our defense was not there tonight. We were really lazy. And it sucks because we've been talking so good about the Knicks defense. We've been bragging about it to everyone. I know I have. I've been posting about the Knicks defense and just saying we're different. We're a different defensive team. But tonight, the Knicks were lazy. Didn't really start playing defense until the last quarter. The last 6 minutes of the fourth quarter when they made that comeback. Alex said, I saw Brunson's disappointment on his face. He really wanted that win, but fell short. Yeah, Brunson was definitely frustrated tonight. I mean, especially in the first half. I think that's when he got his technical foul. You could tell he's frustrated because he also struggled in that first half. He couldn't really get it going or get in a good groove. So he was frustrated with himself not being able to score. And just the calls in general. The calls were pretty bad, and he was dealing with most of them. The non-calls and the calls being on him. It was tough. That one hurts to come all the way back. We couldn't get a rebound to give us a chance. We let Dallas get 3 offensive rebounds. Yeah. It really sucks, the fact that they got 3 opportunities to get a rebound. Every time they shot the ball, the rebound was so long. If it was right under the basket, we would have had that. But it would go back out to the 3-point line, and all the Mavs were there, so they got it. And it led to a 3, which completely hurt us because then it was a 2-possession game at that point. We needed anything but a 3. So when they made that 3, we were down by 4 and we had 25 seconds left. Completely destroyed us with that one play. That one play was filled with 3 offensive rebounds, though. So big props to the Mavs right there. Easy Money said most skilled player in the league. Pretty sure you're referring to Kyrie. But yeah, he's very skilled. I mean, we know that. He's been in the NBA pretty long. We've seen him get a chip. And his tenure with the Nets definitely lost him a lot of fans and made him less recognized, I guess, in the league. But he's still that guy, clearly. Someone mentioned it earlier. He had 35 the last game, and tonight he had 44. He's still that guy. Alex said, can we just blame this L on jet lag? I wish we could. But, no one would take that excuse. Because, I mean, technically it could be a factor in it with how bad our defense was. You could wonder, okay, these guys are jet lagged. Maybe. Jonathan said, maybe we'll get revenge at our house February 8th. I really hope we do, because this was a tough loss tonight. Really tough. We were all on a high with a 5-game winning streak, and we haven't lost in this year yet. And then the Mavericks just completely crush us. Completely. It wasn't like a competitive game throughout all quarters. They came out here and just automatically gained a lead, and that lead went up to 20, and it was like that throughout the rest of the game, basically, besides a few times where the Knicks were able to come back, cut it. But they definitely crushed us. Someone said Grant Williams hype is so corny to me. Yeah, there was a few plays tonight that made me think he's a really good actor. He definitely flopped a few times or just stayed on the ground. And I mean, he's a good defensive player, but I don't like it when players flop. It really makes me frustrated to watch because, especially if it's someone on the opposing team. I mean, we don't really have floppers on our team. We don't. You could people will say Jalen Brunson is a flopper. He's not. He's really good at drawing offensive fouls. Those are real offensive fouls, but some plays you'll see, like I saw tonight from Grant, uh, definitely a little bit of acting. Not even from Grant alone. Some of the other players were definitely. I mean, Kyrie even did it at one point with Dante guarding him. He like threw back his head and everything. And I mean, what's with that? No need to do all that. Ace said, so does this prove that we still need a scoring star? You could take this loss as you could take it two ways. I mean, you could think that we need a star with the starting lineup. So potentially, I guess a shooting guard. Or you could take it as we need someone off the bench, which I think I'm rolling with more because our bench did not come up with a lot of points tonight. And a lot of times when the bench was out there or there was a starter with the bench out there, you really got nothing going. The highest scorer off the bench was Grimes with 9. And I think we need someone else to come off the bench and score consistently, basically. Because I don't know if McBride and Grimes can do it because we've seen Grimes have some really bad stretches. That's pretty much what got him benched in the first place is he was going through an awful stretch. And what happens if he were to go through that again? Like, how would that impact the Knicks? Because right now he was the leading scorer off the bench, and if he can't even score, then what are you looking at? The bench struggles tremendously. McBride, I mean, you can't. I know he's looked really well. He's looked great since the trade, and he's really stepped up. But I also don't think he can do it consistently, daily basis. I want them to. I mean, I really wish like we could run with these guys. We could roll with them, but when the playoffs come around, you want someone that we can depend on. We want a guy we can depend on, and even someone that could roll with the starting unit and help them if they needed to. Same way that Quickly used to sometimes close out the game with Brunson and Randle, and he would add that factor. He would add something to that lineup right there that closed out the game. If we were to add someone like Brogdon, he could potentially do the same. Oh my god. Now we got Mavs fans in the comments. What's going on, man? Someone said Kyrie owns our franchise. Kyrie's a great player. He definitely went off tonight. Kudos to you. If you're a Mavs fan, you got the win. But next time we see you, it's going to be different. Trust me, it's going to be different. Jonathan said that's because Tibbs don't play McBride much. Let's see. Tonight, how many minutes did he get? Yeah, he only had 9 minutes tonight. Only 9 minutes from him. Brunson had 39 minutes. So, yeah, Brunson will be playing majority of the game. There was a night, the other night, McBride had 15 minutes. I guess if McBride is having a good game, he'll get more minutes, like 15. Big Task said, Knicks pride, the Knicks will be back. They will be back. Okay, I definitely was overreacting during the game, but it is one loss at the end of the day. It's one loss. We're not on a losing streak right now. We'll bounce back, especially against the Memphis Grizzlies on Saturday. Nature and Sports said subscribe and like the page. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. And if you're watching from Instagram, I unfortunately can't see your comments because it's just not connected with StreamYard. So head on over to YouTube, Big Nick Energy on YouTube. comment here and I'll see your comments. I haven't really spoken about the box score yet. I mean, we went through a few players already, but Randle ended up with 32 points. He had a big second half. Second half, he definitely got more shots up and in. He was flowing. A lot more shots to the basket as well. Along with his 32 points, he had 6 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. And OG only... Oh, yeah, we got to talk about OG. What's going on here? OG only had 10 points, and I just felt like in the second half, he got more shots as well. But the first half, he was not getting any shots. I was wondering where OG was. Pretty sure he scored half. I would say he scored majority of those 10 points in the second half because he scored a few consecutive baskets back to back. But we definitely need to get OG more involved because tonight he was 4 for 10, and I think we should be looking for him more, especially in that left corner. I think we only found him there once tonight, and he made that 3. We all know how deadly he is from that left corner, and we need to find him there more. OG needs to be involved more in this offense. He wanted it. He wants to be more involved. So they need to give it to him. Because we talk about having another creator, having another scorer, but OG, if they find OG more, potentially he could give you more points. I haven't really seen him shoot off the dribble, really. I mean, there was one play tonight he did. He brought up the ball and went to the rack, but I would like to see him create something offensively besides just a catch and shoot. Hardenstein tonight had 8 rebounds, 15 boards. He had 8 points. My bad if I said rebounds. He had 8 points, 15 rebounds, and 4 assists, 1 steal. I mean, he was grabbing a lot of rebounds, but it just sucks we couldn't get that one last rebound to lead us to a win tonight. Brunson had 30. He ended the game with 30, which is pretty surprising. At the rate he was going in the first half, you thought it was going to be a pretty awful game for him, scoring-wise. Not able to get much going there. And DiVincenzo ended with 19, so pretty big game for him. He was definitely part of the reason we were able to make that comeback. With 19 points, he had 5 3-pointers. He was 7 for 13 from the field. I really like DiVincenzo. He's been super underrated. I don't think a lot of people talk about him that much. We definitely have been talking about OG a lot. Hardenstein, and between our All-Stars, Randle and Brunson, future All-Stars, I should say. We haven't really been talking about DiVincenzo. His impact he's been having on being able to shoot the 3-ball. It's been extremely helpful. Having a guy in our at the shooting guard position that could actually make those threes. Off the bench, we already talked about the bench though. We already mentioned it. Not much scoring there. Achua had 7 points. I'm pretty sure that's the highest he's had since he's been traded on this team. McBride had 5. He struggled a little bit tonight, but he didn't take too many shots, really. You guys mentioned it earlier. He's not playing a lot of minutes tonight. He only played 9 minutes. So in those 9 minutes, he took 5 shots from the field, 4 3-pointers, and he had 5 points. Josh Hart, in 23 minutes, had 4 points. He was 0 for 3 from the 3-point line. Every time he missed a 3, it just hurt my heart a little bit more. And he was 1 for 4 from the field. Couldn't really get anything going. I mean, I'll be honest. Like I tweeted it on Twitter. He looked a little lost out there on both ends of the court. Offense, defense. Not the best defensive game from him. A lot of mistakes on that end of the court. And then offensively, not really looking to do anything with the ball. Not looking to score or get to the basket. We know he's an underrated player at driving to the basket. He does that really well on fast breaks, but we didn't really see much of that action tonight. And then we have our leading scorer off the bench, Grimes. In 15 minutes, he had 9 points. He was 3 for 6 from the field and 3 for 6 from the 3-point line. So he had 3 3-pointers from. It was he had a pretty good game, I'd say. Being in 15 minutes, putting up those 3 threes, he did what he could with the minutes he was given. Just think everyone tonight slacked off defensively, especially in that first half. They were not clicking on the defensive end. They were not communicating. Definitely a lot of miscommunications going on. A lot of switches were not working out. Double teams. Ace said, but credit to Dallas, they shot lights out in the first half. I thought we were playing the 2015 Warriors. You're completely right. Credit to them. They completely shot lights out, like you said. It seems like they couldn't miss at all, especially in that first quarter. They were making everything, and it made it so hard for the Knicks to come back. The fact that they just made everything, and I definitely felt like a lot of the shots were contested. Maybe not contested the best, but they still were contested, and these guys were hitting them. So, got to give them a lot of credit for hitting their shots. It seems like it always happens to the Knicks, where guys shoot lights out against us. Brandon said, people don't realize, but OG is just as, if not more, inconsistent than RJ, but he gets a pass because he plays defense. I've definitely heard a lot of takes about that, Brandon. People have said he's inconsistent. And that's similar to how RJ was on the Knicks. We haven't really seen we haven't really seen like high scoring games from him, or so tonight he took 10 shots, made 4. I mean, it's not necessarily bad. But he was 1 for 6 from the 3-point line, so I can see what you mean there. I mean, I hope it's not like that with similar to the RJ situation, where some nights he was great from the 3-point line, other nights not so much. And I honestly think his defense kind of struggled tonight as well. I was like, where's OG? Because our defense sucked, and usually since OG's been here, he's made an impact on that end of the court, and he's usually always helping. But at one point, I was literally questioning, where is he? Because nothing was going the Knicks' way on the defensive end. Interesting that you say that, Brandon. Like, I will keep that in mind for future games. I'm just gonna notice if that's the case, if he does become inconsistent. I hope not. I really don't have to hope that happens, because I know you were a huge RJ fan, Brandon, but we know he was inconsistent, so I wouldn't want to have another inconsistent player like that. Alex said D Inferno has been very consistent. Yeah, Dante has been great. And I said it before, but I don't think it's being talked about enough. They mentioned that he's shooting 44% from the 3-point line. One of the best in the league, really. And tonight he had 5 3-pointers. It's just so helpful that he can shoot the 3 ball and he can make those threes for us. And I think adding him into that starting lineup was a great move, honestly. Putting him in there so that when Brunson or Randle need to kick it out to DiVincenzo, he's going to make it. Someone said Dante's going to be the new Curry. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. Curry is clearly the best shooter of all time. So I don't know, but I know you're joking. But he was teammates with him on Golden State. Maybe he learned a thing or two about shooting. He's definitely been looking great. Yeah, we pretty much went through everyone, how they played tonight. And we spoke about the defense. You guys know, let's look at the 3-point percentage. So the Knicks shot 33% from the 3-point line tonight. They made 14 threes, and I would say a majority of those came in the fourth quarter, or the second half, because the first half, we know we were struggling really bad from the 3-point line. Couldn't really get much going there. And on the other hand, the Mavs were making everything from the 3-point line, so it really hurt us in that first half. The Mavs, though, they ended up with 17, so not a huge difference there. 3 3-pointers is the difference. They were 41%. Oh, one thing that bugged me tonight was the Knicks missed a lot of free throws. They were 22 for 28, so they missed 6 free throws, and those should be easy points right there. We lost this game by 4, and they missed 6 free throws. You just have to wonder, like, it really hurts when they miss free throws because those are supposed to be the easiest, and especially late game ones. Got to make your free throws. Rebounds, Knicks had more, but it doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter how many rebounds both teams ended up with because Mavs got the winning rebound. That rebound was the most important, and they grabbed that one. Assists were even between both teams. Let's see. Knicks had 16 total turnovers. They averaged around 14, so a little bit over average. They played pretty bad tonight. I was definitely expecting more turnovers. Looking that it's just 16. And fast break points, a huge difference with the fast break points. The Knicks had 6 fast break points. Mavs had 25. They were pushing it every time they were pushing on the fast break. They're a really fast-paced team, and they get to the rack. Us, on the other hand, tonight, we're pretty lazy, and we also didn't play fast breaks really well. Literally 2 times, Julius Randle drew an offensive foul on the fast break, and those hurt. And it says the largest lead the Mavs had was 21. Knicks never led the game. Yeah, I mean, that pretty much does it. The Knicks were down by 21 at one point. I think it was after halftime. They cut the lead to 1 in the last few minutes of the fourth quarter, the last few minutes of the game. And then we couldn't grab a rebound to save our life. Because the Mavs got a rebound, they ended up scoring a 3. So it was no longer a 1-point game, it was a 4-point game. But most importantly, it was a 2-possession game with 25 seconds left. So that completely changed everything. I mean, if it was a 2-possession game with a minute left, that definitely would have been completely different. But there was 25 seconds left at that point. So not much you can do. Alex said they definitely have similar styles. Agreed. He has that catch and shoot down to a science. Yeah, he really does. And it's so helpful to have. I keep saying it's helpful, but it really is because we've had so many players on this team that have not been able to shoot the 3 consistently. But we finally have one with DiVincenzo. I'm so grateful for that. Like someone we can really rely on to shoot that 3 ball. Alex said free throws could have helped. Yeah, they could have. We missed 6. We missed 6 and we lost this game by 4 points. That winning rebound completely sucked the life out of me when I saw the Mavs get that rebound. Because we had 3 opportunities, we had 3 chances, and we couldn't get it. Yeah, Alex also mentioned we had a few fast break points that Julius stunk up, as he put it. He drew the offensive foul a few times, and those were so painful to watch because you could just see it coming. Even from a fan perspective, you could see it coming. Sometimes the way Julius Randle plays is very aggressive, and I love that. But on a fast break, guys are looking to draw an offensive foul. So you have to expect that when you're going into a fast break, and he completely obliterated them with his elbows both times. Yeah. Let's check when the next I know the next Knicks game is against the Memphis Grizzlies, and that will be this Saturday. Oh, tomorrow. It'll be basically tomorrow. Yeah, I was looking at the date here and it says it's Friday and I forgot it's already 12 a.m. This was a pretty late game. So it's already Friday. The game is tomorrow, Saturday at 8 p.m. Another late game a little bit. This one started at 8:30, so it ended super late. It's already midnight. I definitely expect a win out of that one. I expect the Knicks to bounce back. Especially after the way they lost tonight. It's not a nice way to lose the game with that really heart-wrenching rebound that they couldn't grab, and the big comeback that they did, but they fell short. So I'm expecting them to bounce back against Memphis and get the win. Let's start off a new winning streak. But without further ado, I will begin to wrap up the post game. We have one more comment in here. Let's read that really quick. A said, I don't like blaming the refs because we didn't play our best basketball, but Dallas was getting a lot of home court calls. Did you see that blatant offensive foul on Green? Yeah. The refs, I don't like to really blame them either, unless it's like one particular call at the end that decides the game. But there were so many calls throughout the game that were super bad. And Mike Breen said it perfectly. Like, it was super inconsistent. Just call it consistently between both teams. It was frustrating to watch, I'll say. Definitely was. Someone said it's even later here in the UK. It's 5 a.m. here, but I gotta stay up for the Knicks chat. Oh my gosh, it's 5 a.m. How do you get sleep? That's crazy. I don't know. Like, you're so dedicated. I don't know if I'd be able to stay up that late and watch the Knicks. I'm pretty sure I would just watch highlights the next day. But you're super dedicated. Shout out to you. That's a true fan right there. But, I'm going to let you go to sleep now because I'm ending it. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. I'll see you Saturday when the Knicks play the Memphis Grizzlies at 8. I'll see you after the game, obviously. But I hope you guys have